Okay, taking a closer look at the ACD trigger. So this is a base plate mounted footboard activated trigger, like the Foot Blaster, the on trigger, the precision kicks, which I reviewed in that other video. But just one look at this thing and it's just definitely light years beyond those other designs. The first thing that makes this unique is that instead of being raised or lowered, those other designs, the Foot Blaster and the on trigger, you raise it, to make contact with the, the bottom of your footboard by bending a piece of metal just right. The, the precision kicked, they have a thumb screw here that you can loosen, and then you can angle it a little bit and then raise it up like that. But mostly it relies on being positioned further back or forward on the base plate. So I'm going to take this footboard here. So the idea is, as you play the drum, when the beater strikes the head, the footboard ends up at a certain point here, and so you want to set the trigger to where, it's struck by the footboard at its lowest point. But the way the ACD does it, instead of having to raise it or lower it, what it does is it slides along this this screw right here, controlled by this knob. I mean, look at this shit. So you turn the knob this way to bring it forward, and then that way to bring it back. It's super precise, and there's a scale here, so you can repeat your settings, which I might go into this later, but I really don't think this is extremely useful, because you're going to be going by the the point that it actually makes contact. So it's like, who cares what the numbers say? Sometimes if you have your kit set up in the same place on a completely flat, like concrete floor with your drum rug over it, and it never changes, then yeah, you would just set it, leave it alone. But even like, no matter how precise your settings are, it's like when you move your shit, when you set it back up, there's always going to be slight variations in maybe the evenness of the floor. Like, for instance, if you play at a club, chances are they're going to have a wood drum riser, that's probably pretty old, and will sag in the middle a little bit, which will cause your bass drum to kind of, it won't be perfectly flat. So that will then put your beater distance just a little bit closer or a little bit further away, and then that's where you would make these micro adjustments to compensate. So this, another thing, this is just really, really nice. You can actually bolt it to the base plate of your pedal, and the ACDs are, the Darwins are pre-drilled. So once you've got it close, then you can make those micro adjustments until it's at just the right spot. So that, another thing, the sensor itself, check this out. This can be replaced. Like, if this goes bad, you can remove it and then replace it with a new one. Okay, so when this is mounted to the base plate of the pedal, we don't like how this output cable is going to dangle, just this heavy, high quality, output jack is just going to be swinging around like a wrecking ball, putting scratches in your beautiful anodized finish. Every photo we've ever seen of these triggers actually mounted to the pedal, because they're a matched pair, right? So this, this would be the left, and then the right would be opposite, and they're always mounted like this, where this thing is just, just fucking dangling free, and yeah, we don't like that at all. It's like just waiting to be tripped over. So we're going to fix that. The way we're going to do that, so what we're going to do is take some heat shrink, cut it down to the appropriate length so it covers this entire jack, and then we're going to use some double-sided Velcro, which sticks a lot better to rubber than it does to chrome. And then we're going to reverse the triggers, so it should give us something like this. And it'll protrude just far enough to use a right angle cable. All right, so we've cut a piece of heat shrink down to the appropriate length, and we're going to just slide it over the barrel of this output jack. And then we're going to hit it with the old heat gun so it molds to the cylinder. Like this. So as you can see, we got the cable with a nice gentle loop curving around the front of the gear, right up flush with the edge of the base plate. And like, I mean, I'm trying to get a light on this, but I mean, you can barely even see it. And then when we plug our cable in like this, using a right angle cable, so this would just curve underneath the bass drum on its way to the module, keeping the floor completely clean. So, and you know, since it's only Velcro, if we really had to take that thing off, you can just unstick it. So yeah.